Welcome to another year of Navaratri celebrations at our home in Switzerland. I'm Chitra and I will be the narrator for this video. Navaratri is having a very special significance in our Vedic tradition and in Sanatana Dharma. We have been celebrating this for the past 4 days. Today we finished the 4th day and we have another 5 more days, and on the 10th day we will be celebrating Vijayadashmi, which marks the end of the Golu celebrations. This particular Navaratri, which is falling after the autumn equinox, is usually celebrated between September and October because the Vedic calendar is different from the Gregorian calendar. We have a moon calendar and we follow that calendar, and according to that we celebrate this festival. The festival starts after the new moon of Mahalaya Amavasya. Amavasya is the new moon, and on that night of this Amavasya or on the new moon of Mahalaya Amavasya, we start arranging the steps and we start arranging our deities. This is how we celebrate in southern India. We start the festivities from the first day, the Prathama. I would like to call them as deities because during these 9 days, all these deities really come to life. They are not dolls because we have invoked them to come and bless our family. And on these days, we have special pujas and chanting, and it's also a social event, cultural event, a spiritual event. All the Vedic traditions are always a combination of all these aspects also. The Navaratri tradition in the southern India has many parallels to how the temples are constructed, like especially the arrangements, or also known as the Kolu dolls. Actual Tamil word is Kolu because they don't have this word ga, but somehow we have Sanskritized it and so it has become Golu. The Golu is displayed in steps or called as Kolu Padi. We keep the steps in odd numbers. Either you have 3 steps, 5 steps or 7 steps or 9 steps. If you have ever been to South India, you know that the temple architecture in the south differ a lot from the north. We have the outer structure of the temple, which is called as Gopuram, and the Kolupadi or the steps of the Navaratri Golu actually kind of mirror the Gopuram of the temples. So you arrange it in the form of a gopuram, like a pyramid kind of structure. That is what we are trying to mirror, and remember, everything is done for the pleasure of the deities and the supreme God. So we treat our home, our body as a temple. So we like to arrange this also like a temple. If you have ever visited South India, you will see that the temples in South India have a different architecture and a different way how everything is arranged. They follow this Agama Shastra, which gives a lot of detailed information about how to worship, how to build temple. Vastu Shastra has also taken a predominant role in building houses. So the construction of the temple follows both of this, the Vastu Shastra and the Agama Shastra. You place the Golu steps facing east, and even your deity, you place it facing east. So that way you're worshipping towards the east. I have kind of placed it in between east. This is kind of east. So we have it here. It's a little bit diagonal. And these deities are usually made with clay, burnt and then painted. So this is also supporting the artisans of the village. And this festival has a social aspect to it. It has a spiritual aspect and it has an economical aspect. It has also a cultural aspect because during this time we invite a lot of friends, like all the married ladies and girls, and we together perform festivities, like we make some naivedyam or offering to the deities. Then after offering, we take the prasadam, we sing together. It is really a joyous occasion to meet family and friends And then it also has an economical aspect, like in India, the artisans are benefited. They can make a living during this time. To make these deities out of clay, it takes a lot of effort to make them beautiful, and it also is promoting their art, and it is also promoting our tradition and culture. And then we also have a lot of flowers, because we use flowers for worshipping. So the flower seller is also making a living during this time. They can really boost their income during this festival time. Then we have the fruits, then you have the sweet shop. I mean, usually I make sweets, but you can also buy. Then you also buy little gifts, like give tambulam, coconut and flowers and all little things. But ultimately we should not forget that we are all spiritual beings, and that we have to connect ultimately to the higher source. We are all divine beings also. Our soul is connected always to the divinity, so we want to bring out the divinity in ourselves. All these small rituals and traditions in the Vedic tradition and Sanatana Dharma always bring us close to it. By chanting all the Lalita Sahasranama, then the Devi Mahatmayam, and singing the bhajans and praises of the Devis and deities bring us closer to our goal faster during this time. I have kept the same 7 steps because for me the number 7 has many significance, which I explained in my last year's video. I will link it above in the cards and also below in the description box, so you can take a look at it. I have given you a brief summary of it, and you can see how we have arranged it. So this year we made the same 7 steps. Usually these deities are made with clay or wood. The wooden deities are Lakshmi and Narayana, are also called in Venkateshwara Perumal and Padmavati Taya. In the first step this year, I have placed Lakshmi and Narayana, Andal and Perumal and his wife. That was given to me by my family when I got married. I have 3 sets of it. Usually they give a couple of sets, but somehow I got one other set from my aunt. And in the second one I have Venkateshwara Balaji, Tirupati Balaji or Venkateshwara Balaji. Then I have Lakshmi, Gaja Lakshmi, Krishna and Andal, and I have 2 sets of this Marapachi Bommai. We call it in Tamil as Marapachi Bommai, or the wooden deities. And this is again Lakshmi and Narayana. My sister dressed them up. One of them is dressed like a Rajasthani style and the other in the South Indian style. Then I have the Dashavatara sets in the 3rd step. The 4th step I have Shiva, Parvati, Ram, Lakshmana and Sita and Hanuman, and then I have Durga, Saraswathi and Lakshmi. Then in the 5th step I have Kartikeya, or also known as Murugan. Then Ganesha, then I have little Krishna, baby Krishna and his mother milking the cow, and he's there with his butter or milk pot. Then I have also Jagannath and Ramanujacharya and also Arjuna Tapasya. It's the same thing as before. I haven't added any new collection because I haven't been to India, and I don't plan to collect even more because I need to pack them and it's really a lot of work. I'm happy with this. Then in the 6th one we have the wedding, South Indian wedding scene. Then I moved some of the village artisans over here. Last step I have the merchant, then I have the Russian dolls, Babushka. Koravan and Korati, or a gypsy. Tamil we call it Koravan and Korati. And then you have the Chandala with his dogs. I don't have really a theme as such because I don't have that kind of collection. But this year we have a big change in the park. So at the back you see a farmhouse. Then you have some horses, then cows. And it's just a regular farm scene, and then near the farm is also a little bit of a forest, a park, and next to the And before the farmhouse, we have a dressage tournament. Every year in autumn, very close to my house, they have this dressage tournament here. We have a lot of horse farms close by. Swiss farmers also have horses. It's a side income for them. Some of the people who are into horse riding can store their horses there. They come and take care, and they organize events. And then, just to refresh yourself after getting tired from the tournament, there is also a takeaway stand there. And then behind I have a cafe. Then there's a little small garden where you see some kids playing, and then the gardener watering. It's just all in all has kind of flowed very well this time. The park decorations were at least 80% of it done by my daughter and our neighbor kids. And then we did some wired LEDs all over, and then I used all these time candles. So in this way I don't have to have these up in wires. I just have to switch on timer and it automatically switches on the next day. And every day, of course, we light our oil lamp and ghee lamp and do our arati and do naivedya, and that's how we spend our evenings. Luckily, my daughter has autumn vacations, and that's helping me quite a lot. Thank you for watching, and may all the deities bless you and your family with good health, happiness, spirituality, and well-being.